Hi everyone. On Saturday, April 14th, the Wichita Walk Against Gang Violence will take place. It's a great community event that you're definitely going to want to make plans to attend. We have three guests here with us today. Seated next to me is Kendall Graham. She is the president of the Wichita NAACP Youth Council. You also go to Northeast Magnet?
Yes.
Seated next to her is Pastor Bill Vann. He is the pastor of Iasis Christian Center, and he's also a member of the Greater Wichita Ministerial League.
That's correct.
And then down at the end, we have Dan Oropesa, and he is on the board of Crime Stoppers. Thank you all for being here.
It's good to be here.
Well, let's start off with the basics and just tell us more about when the event will take place and where people should go.
The event starts Saturday, April the 14th, and it's going to start at 10 a.m. at McAdams Park. Anybody who wants to participate should start gathering there between the hours of 9 and 10. And we're expecting a tremendous turnout this year. Even in the faith-based community, we're expecting approximately 3,000 members of different churches that are going to show up for this walk. So I think it's going to have a tremendous impact in the community.
And in case anybody's wondering, how far is the walk?
2.1 to be exact. But you can, if you can't make the whole 2.1 miles, you can chime in at any point along the way. So for those of you that can't walk that far, there's still opportunity for you to participate.
Good to know. Kendall, are you expecting a lot of young people to show up?
I'm trying to get all the youth organizations involved. It's not necessarily hard, but it is a challenge to get youth involved with things like this because they are so focused on doing the fun stuff and not actually making a difference. But there is a few that are, I talked to a few organizations today, and they will be attending.
And maybe you could talk a little bit more about why it's so important for young people to attend and get involved.
Well, the reason why it is so important for me to get youth involved and for you to be involved is because it's more, we're affected by it a little bit more. You know, on a day-to-day basis, we have a lot of people fighting and getting suspended from school, expelled from school, and you know, I feel like the gang violence is more in the youth perspective because we see it more often.
That's a good point. So I know there's more than just a walk involved. Tell me what else you guys are going to be doing.
There'll be a lot of events. There'll be information booths. The first 1,500 people will be supplying T-shirts for them. So we really want it to be a community event, a situation where everybody gathers, because this is a community problem. In the past 2 walks, we've had an incredible response from the community, and all we're trying to do is grow it to other parts of the city. And so it's really important for everybody that participated previously to know that even though it's another part of the city, all the same elements, all the same people are as important, if not more important, to continue what we consider a legacy that we're bringing to the community that says we're going to stand up against the things that we don't think are right or fair, and we're going to help each other out. And that's really the message more than anything else. So we want everyone to come, we want everyone to feel welcome, and we want everybody to participate at whatever level they feel comfortable.
And so when we're walking around and looking at the different booths, who will be set up?
There'll be schools, there'll be information on gangs, there'll be opportunities for youth, there'll be summer programs, the schools will have booths there. It's basically if we can give our youth an alternative to a gang choice, and if we can help educate the parents to say, you know, something's not right here, my communication level with my child isn't as good as it should be. What are the signs? How do I know that this person is a good person, maybe making a wrong choice based on just being young, based on growing, based on all of that? So by community involvement, we really want to provide resources for parents at every level. And so when we know our children are doing something constructive, then those alternative choices aren't as appealing.
How often do you find that parents come to you guys and maybe don't know where to go for help and resources?
Many times parents will make just a phone call to the various community organizations and say, I think my son, or even now my daughter, is involved in a gang, but I'm not sure. This is what they're doing. And a lot of times when they make that phone call, we try and connect them with an organization that can help determine whether they are or are not. And at that point, the parent can then make some decisions for the child. Unfortunately, for a lot of parents, though, they just let it go and think that it's just a phase that the kid is going to grow out of. And that's a tremendous problem, because as a kid begins begins to get more involved in gang activity, the deeper they become entrenched in the different gangs that are a part of the city of Wichita. And that's when the parent really begins to have a real struggle with this one child who used to be a tremendous kid for him, and now he can't even make it to school on time.
Kendall, what have your experiences been? What have you seen?
Well, being in high school, and we see it on a day-to-day basis, you know, people throwing up their gang sign or people walking down the hallway about altercating. But it's not an issue at the school that I attend. It's not an issue a lot. We do see it, and it'll be gone for I don't know how long, and then maybe a few years down the line you'll see it again. But you know, being in middle school, and you see it more often because that's where you're really trying to find where you are in life, and you're trying to see where you're going to be accepted. Many young people think that they'll be accepted because of my color, or this is what people think of me now because of the decision I chose to choose what gang am I going to be in. And they never really think of the negative impact that it'll have on their life. And they grow up, because I've had friends like this, they grow up and they call me and say, hey, my friend just died and he was shot because of the gang. Or, you know, if it's an issue to where youth are afraid to go to certain places, then I believe that youth should come out to this and try to fight against something that we're all affected by.
It seems like there's more pressure on young people today too, especially with social media. You know, there's a lot more interaction between people.
Yes, Facebook and, you know, MySpace and all those other social media networks, we see it more, we see more talking on it. We never really see the altercations, or we'll see people uploading the fights at Bloods versus Crips or different gangs around there. We see them fighting, and people respond, you know, thinking that things like this is cool when it's really not. So
yeah, that's a good point. Pastor Bill, I know the faith communities are getting really involved. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this year, the Greater Wichita Ministerial League, which is a group of local pastors and clergymen, decided to really get behind this and put some legs into this walk and support it. So we're expecting probably a representation of over 30 churches and those church congregations to be a part of this walk. I really think that this is going to be one of the biggest gang walks we've had in a very long time. Out of the three, I think this will be the largest. And it'll really prove the point of what happens when the faith-based community gets behind it and supports it. The other thing is we've decided within the Greater Wichita Ministerial League to make it also a walk, but also a prayer walk. So can you imagine clergymen walking through the neighborhoods and praying in those neighborhoods? I'm expecting something tremendous to happen from this.
It'll be a powerful sight, that's for sure.
I believe it will be.
What type of an impact have you guys seen from the previous two gang walks?
Well, there's been significant numbers. We really don't want to discuss the numbers because you don't want to live and die based on numbers. And maybe that's a bad choice of words, but what we want to do is we really want to focus our attention on how each individual adjusts their life, how those choices are made. So by throwing numbers out, those people that are influenced by those type of things is probably not going to give the reaction we want. This is a one-on-one community where everyone is helping each other, and that's the only number that really counts, is how well we help each other. And that is the significance. Now, if we're going to look in general trends, that type of thing, we see significant changes as a result of the community coming together, which you would expect. But there are tangible results, but it's a continuation. So this is the third of many, many, many gang walks against gang violence we're going to have. And the people that are helping will never know the lives they touch, and that's very appropriate. We're here. The only number that really counts, if one child makes a better choice, then we've succeeded, but we know the numbers are larger than that.
What should people know as far as attire, you know, where to park? Do you have any tips?
It's really just come as you are and walk. I would suggest, since it's 2.1 miles, not to wear stilettos. I would suggest that you can, but I would suggest you don't. And also, there will be various churches that are going to be set up along the way giving out free water. So as you walk through the course, there'll be people there where you can get water or something like to refresh yourself. But just wear comfortable attire.
And then where should people park?
Parking is going to be there. There'll be some areas that are set up around McAdams Park. There should be signage available for where you can park your car. We are suggesting that we don't have a tremendous amount of vehicles down there because that's going to make it a little more challenging. But you can park in the neighborhood around. You can park around also McAdams Park. And then even if you have to walk a couple blocks to get to the park still, we definitely want you to come out.
Now, Pastor Bill, will you guys have food out there as well?
Yes, we will. As a matter of fact, there are several organizations that will have food for purchase. City Light Cafe is one of the organizations that helps to get former gang members back into the community, and they'll be providing food out there for purchase also.
It's wonderful to see them involved.
Yes, it is.
Now, what about if you're a parent and you're wondering, is this an appropriate thing to bring my kids to?
Well, yes, it's very important for the children to be there to see things that are going on. But the things for the children is not only just the walk, but we have mascots from various schools and inflatables for the kids to jump around and have fun.
I'm sure they'll love it. And if somebody is wondering if it's if there's still time left for them to maybe get a booth, is that still a possibility?
Yes, very much so. In fact, what we want to do is we want to make sure that there's a clear understanding that everyone is welcome, especially organizations. Yes, it's the community coming together, but it's the ability of the organizations that serve our communities and serve our communities well to really have a platform, a place where they have the undivided attention of people that they will be of service. And so there'll be a variety of services, but we still always have room for additional organizations that want to come and be part of it. And what's the contact number?
Yeah, if you're interested in having a booth there, you can contact Randy Wells at 263-1389, or you can go on the website at, I believe it's safestreetswichita.org, and there's information there about how to set up a booth.
Is there also information there about the walk itself?
Correct. It is the website. It's well established. This is the third year, and so any information that's needed, that's the best resource to use.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here to tell us all about it. We've covered a lot of great information today.
Appreciate it.
Great. Thanks a lot.
And we'll go ahead and leave you with the contact information. Thanks for watching this edition of Local Loop.